It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler.
Hey guys, Tyler here. There's actually a popular transgender TikTok user who has a very viral video as I record this video. And so without further hesitation, let's react to this viral video and see what it's like.
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about something super important, what it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand. Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both? Do you have your answer? Great. Now I want you to imagine that everyone keeps telling you that you're something else, even though in your heart, you know who you are. Wouldn't that make you sad inside? People who feel like this are transgender. And if you're not transgender, it's super easy to be friends with someone who is. Let's take our imaginary friend Theo, for example. One day you notice that Theo starts wearing girl clothes instead of boy clothes, and then they tell you that they want to be called Luna instead of Theo. This is so exciting for our friend Luna because they finally get to be their true self. And if you accidentally call Luna by their old name, make sure to say a big sorry and that you'll do better next time. As you can see, transgender people are just like you and me. They're our friends.
I am not going to lie to you guys. When I first saw that video, I felt very creeped out. And you guys are probably saying, well, geez, Tyler, the main reason why you're basically creeped out in the first place is largely because you have some sort of transphobia or like a hatred against transgender people, and that's why you pretty much felt that way when you watched the video for the first time. To which I say, it's not necessarily the fact that this individual is actually transgender. I don't necessarily care if people decide to transition in their lifetime once they turn 18 years old, when they have much more life experiences. And so I'm not against the notion, the idea of transgender people being the way they are until they're at least 18 years old. That being said, the main reason why I'm pretty much concerned about that particular video is largely because it fits underneath the definition of what a groomer is. And so the question then becomes, what exactly is a groomer? How do I define groomer for this particular context? There are many types of definitions as described for this particular word. The first definition is the practice of brushing and cleaning the coat of a horse, dog, or other animals. Now, it's pretty obvious that I am not necessarily using that particular definition of a groomer. The second definition is the practice of preparing or training someone for a particular purpose or activity. And the third definition is the action of attempting to form a relationship with a child or young person with the intention of sexually assaulting them or inducing them to commit an illegal act such as selling drugs or joining a terrorist organization. There's no shadow of a doubt that every single last person who's an adult watching this video were at some point kids. If we can accept the premise that every single last person watching this video used to be a kid, we can also acknowledge that more or less that most people who were kids lack any sort of life experiences growing up. That includes the lack of life experiences when it comes down to making adult decisions like paying the bill or, of course, buying a house or driving a car or knowing your own personal likes or dislikes, because most kids during that age are actually grossed out about the notion of finding other people attractive. It's not until they're actually in their adolescence that they find out their own personal likes and dislikes when it comes down to those particular matters. And so if kids lack the sort of life experience, that will mean that the adult in that particular situation is taking advantage of the fact that kids don't necessarily have the knowledge nor the mental capability to actually know what is X, Y, or Z, and they cannot necessarily know about X, Y, and Z. They cannot necessarily consent or necessarily know about the facts about what it's like to transition as a transgender individual when they're not young. Let's say, for example, the whole entire case about puberty blockers. There's actually a video that shows directly from pediatricians that the effects of puberty blockers are not necessarily reversible once kids or minors begin to take it.
So one of the biggest issues is that if you think about, we haven't probably heard lots about surgery yet, but if you think about vaginoplasty, the creation of a vagina in an assigned male, you need tissue, genital tissue, to create that vagina. And if we are taking a 11-year-old boy, blocking puberty right there, we're preventing the growth of the vagina for down the road, right? So
how the gonads would be affected from a fertility perspective if you start a puberty block attainer stage 2 versus later, and how you advise your patients and their parents on making a decision from that perspective.
yeah, I think that's the hardest part of what I do. Because of course this is not what's in the mind of a 13-year-old or 15-year-old or even a 17-year-old, because babies are icky and they poop and ugh. And you can just go to a store and adopt later on, right? They're just like there in that story. So kids have zero idea about their fertility, right? So an assigned male has to get to a point in puberty where they're making sperm, at least in today's technology, right? So that's age 13, 14, 15-ish. So if you're turning puberty off before that, then they go through female puberty. Then they choose to do semen, use their sperm for whatever. They would have to come off their estrogen, go back into male puberty to the point that they're producing sperm, which would be a lot of virilization.
Yeah.
So that's something we have to talk about. For assigned females who are having periods, when they go on testosterone, we know that there's a very good chance if they come off, and particularly those who are having regular periods, if they go on their testosterone, come off their testosterone, their periods come back relatively quickly, and they can donate an egg or get pregnant, whatever, relatively straightforward. If you were to start,
At 10 or 2, it's not the case.
if you were to start early in a reproductive age in an assigned female, again, that person would have to come off their testosterone, go through female puberty, probably grow breasts to do that. Now, there might be ways around that as far as stimulation with gonadotropins like what the fertility folks do, but I don't believe that that's like a fixed thing yet. That's easily available and is even slightly affordable. So you can freeze eggs and then later use them, but that's still a very early kind of technology that's quite expensive.
But the eggs that you would freeze at 10 or 2, are they even fertile?
So, a little bit of what we know is from like little girls who get cancer, right? So and they try to do whatever they can in a very fast fashion to preserve that girl's fertility for down the road after she's cured from her cancer. I don't think that lots is known about that still.
Yeah.
For say a 10-year-old assigned female, I don't think we know.
Getting back to my original point about the definition of groomer, I find it so incredibly insidious that an influencer of TikTok with hundreds and thousands of views and probably much more subscribers are taking advantages of the fact that many kids probably have no idea what it means to be transgender or the side effects about the process of being transgender, and to use that kind of platform to say, well, you see, you might be transgender too, but you don't necessarily know it, that's taking advantage of kids.
What I want you to do is close your eyes. Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both?
That is grooming by definition. I'm not necessarily against the idea of teenagers learning about different sexualities in high schools for sex education. For example, to learn about gayness or people who are bisexual or people who are transgender. I think at that kind of age range, they're mature enough to have that kind of conversation. But we're talking about kids. We're talking about minors who have no such life experiences and cannot possibly comprehend this type of conversation that we're doing in this video right now. But what do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. He's your only black friend, so he's your best black friend. I won't trade him for another black friend, because black friends are rare, as you should be aware. He smiles like Richard Pryor, so just sit and stare. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler.